So Fat Lip went double platinum, went to number one on the Billboard Alternative Airplay charts in the US. The music video topped MTV's Total Request Live and Much Music's Countdown. Then with In Too Deep, two times platinum, also went to number one on Much Music. You guys made some really memorable music videos for the three singles, including Motivation as well. Is there anything you can share about those three music videos? Any story that comes to mind that you think our audience would get a kick out of?
Well, looking back, I would say for me, one of the things I'm most proud of, at least just for my involvement in the band, were those early videos. We, again, luckily just made the right connection with the right person who had the right sense of humor at the perfect time. The Makes No Difference video was cool. It was our first experience, but we needed something else like they didn't have a big budget. The label's like, okay, this is the main album. This is your shot. You have to let's get a single going. Like, write a hit song and we will push it. Here's the money. What do you want to do? And they asked us who we wanted to direct the video, and we had no idea. Like, the only director at the time I think I knew was Spike Jonze, just because of the Beastie Boys. And he wasn't going to do it. And so they asked us, were there any music videos that we liked? And we said, well, we like that Nelly Country Grammar video, which is
such a random
in
reference.
St. Louis. Completely weird, but we liked the energy of it. We liked the colors in it. We liked just the vibe of it. And they said, well, why do you meet that guy? And so his name was Mark Klasfeld. And we go to Vegas. We were in Vegas playing a show, and he was there. Like, we met him. And we didn't know what to expect, but he's a very clean cut, sort of like he looks like Jean-Claude Van Damme, and super clean cut, preppy looking guy. It was not what we were expecting. And he kind of pitched like a punk version of that sort of documentary style type of video, just with crazy stuff happening while we perform. And we said, okay, that's fun. And he said, where do you want to shoot the video? Like, do you want to shoot it in Canada? And I think we said, no, we have to shoot it in Pomona, California. And it was like, why? At the time, that was the only place that we had a solid fan base where we could say Sum 41 is going to shoot a video and kids would go. Because while we were touring and we were in the van and we were opening for bands like Face to Face or whatever, we played one show at this club called the Glass House, and it just grassroots naturally kicked off. And our agent was like, you guys can go and play at the Glass House by yourself. Like, you can headline that venue. It's like 800 people or something. We were like, we can? Like, if we shot it in Toronto, it'd be like Makes No Difference. Half the people there are our friends from high school, And so we shot it in Pomona, and it just had the right look. Even though we're not a California band, it looked like a California punk band. Everybody looked cool. It looked fun. And then all the things that happened were just sort of random ideas that Klasfeld came up with, or things that happened spontaneously in the moment. And then the Pain for Pleasure thing at the end, we said, can we shoot a video for our heavy metal bands? And he's like, we can do one or two takes. Because there was a 2-day shoot. This was at the end of the second day. Everybody's exhausted. So we shot, I don't know, one take, maybe two. And then that was the one that ended up as a tag on the back of the video. And then at the beginning of the video, it starts with that a cappella hip hop thing that was just a random idea. He was like, there's a guy in the convenience store right there. You guys should go rap in front of him. We're like, okay. So we go and do that. And then that became the beginning of the video. So when it went to MTV, it started blowing up. The song was blowing up on the radio, and MTV was playing the whole thing, the intro, the video, and the Pain for Pleasure thing. And this is when TRL was Carson Daly, what do you call it? Times Square. And it was blowing. It was like us and Christina Aguilera, or us and the Backstreet Boys, going head to head for number one on TRL, which is a huge deal. But, and you know this, Like there was no MTV in Canada when we were growing up. The first time we ever saw MTV is when we were on MTV. And so like even though it was like people were like, this is like massive, we were like, oh cool. Like, yeah, great. You know,
It was all Much
good job.
Music for us, right? In
Yeah,
Canada.
much music is is what we knew and grew up with. So it didn't have that same like we obviously knew about it, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off is that whole montage at the beginning where like we were exposed to the idea, but it was this forbidden media, not allowed in Canada. So that was funny. That was funny that we were on there. So then Into Deep, we stuck with Klassfeld, and it was our A&R guy, Louis Largent, who came up with the idea. He said, "What if you do a parody of Back to School, which is a Rodney Dangerfield movie from the '80s?" And then he looked at me and he goes, "You're doing the triple Lindy." And I was like, "Okay." And even though In Too Deep isn't my favorite song, like now I recognize it's a very well constructed song. It's a hit pop song. But I didn't listen to pop songs like that so much. But I love the video. I love the video. It might be our best video. But again, that relationship with Klassfeld and his ability to get the jokes, and he's funny, and this the references in there, Slash coming out of the water and the Estranged video, and we have Dave do that out of the pool. I mean, it's got some great moments, and it just looks like fun. It really captures the early 2000s sort of pop punk scene. Like it's bright and sunny and light and funny. Whereas the origin of punk is dark and gritty and angry. It's just such a contrast. But yeah, the video was hilarious and it is still a classic and holds up. And I would argue that song, there are certain songs that I think might not have had the same lasting power if the video wasn't as good. Because if a kid discovering some 41 now, who's 13 or something, goes on YouTube and watches that video, it's not like they're watching an older video from the 80s or something where you go, this doesn't look like it still looks current. It still looks like it could have been made now, which I think will help give the song a lasting life. And it still captures the whole feeling and vibe of the whole thing. And so the next video was what's it
Motivation.
called? Motivation. That video we switched to a different director. That was Joseph Kahn, who directed all the Limp Bizkit videos and stuff. And that was not my favorite video. I got to do a video on my YouTube about that one. I mean, it was just a performance video. It's cool. It's energetic, but like I said, it didn't have that hook. Like it didn't have that something that made it a classic, in my opinion. Whereas there's 5 videos, in my opinion, that are just classics. And you can look back and they'll go toe to toe with any other video and people can watch it. And even if they don't like the band, they're like, okay, that was pretty good.
So In Too Deep is still the band's most popular song on Spotify, 616 million plays, which is an absurd number.